is in cinemas from Friday. It wasn't Bryan Adams' Carol, but hopefully I'm hoping it was a little ray of sunshine amidst the gloom that you have to report on this morning.
Yes, indeed, Susanna. Bryan, of course, is still my number one. Now, this morning, though, we, on a serious note, do have further amber warnings out. This is for wind. We're looking at gales, even severe gales, generally gusting 60 to 80 miles an hour across parts of western and southern England and Wales. But across exposed parts of Wales, we could have gusts as much as 100 miles an hour today. Damaging gusts. Low pressure is dominating our weather once again. Look at the spacing on the isobars. 60 to 70 miles an hour this morning, but as this weather front comes through along the south coast, we could have gusts 80 miles an hour. This afternoon, it's the turn of the Irish Sea. Here we're looking at gusts again, 60 to 80 miles an hour, but Aberdarin, Aberystwyth, Anglesey, and possibly the Isle of Man, with exposure, could see those 100-mile-an-hour gusts of wind. And then by evening, transfers to the north of England. Again, look at the spacing in those isobars, 60 to 80 mile-an-hour gusts. With this snow means blizzards, so some treacherous travelling conditions, especially later across the A66 and the M62. If you are travelling, you want to keep up to date with what it's like where you are, you can do so by tuning into your BBC local radio station or, of course, the travel pages on the BBC website. So to put some pictures on that, the wind arrows are on, you can see the extent of them, and the rain's coming in from the west. It's currently doing this where we've got greens and yellows, that's where the heaviest bursts are, and they're moving swiftly eastwards, depositing snow in the Pennines and also across parts of Scotland. Even into the afternoon we'll have that snow. It's mostly on high ground across the Outer Hebrides and also the Highlands and the Grampians and the central lowlands too. Now, as we come into the north of England, wherever you see a triangle, that's where we've got our amber weather warning. So inland, the winds will be continuing to strengthen, but they'll already be touching gale force and an excessive gale force across the Irish Sea. And don't forget the gusts possible at 100 miles an hour across parts of Wales. Meanwhile, across the south coast, we're looking at 70 mile an hour, possibly 80 through the course of the afternoon. But even inland, it's going to be windy today. Now, through the evening and overnight, the strongest winds push out into the North Sea. It will still be windy overnight, just not as windy as through the day. Further snow across the Pennines and also across Scotland, so blizzards here. And again, in some of the showers further south, with height, they could be wintry. But it's going to be a cold night. There's the risk of ice on untreated surfaces, and also it's going to be a frosty night. So we start on that note tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a quieter day compared to today. It's by no means going to be as windy. It will be a lot drier. There'll even be some sunshine, particularly in the east. However, there'll be some showers, and there still is the chance that with height again on the hills, it could be wintry. But here comes Friday's weather, the next potent area of low pressure, bringing in all this rain. From the proximity of the isobars, you can tell once again it's going to be a windy day. So after a dry start in the north, you can see how quickly this rain advances, some of it heavy at that, moves northward through the day, accompanied by those gusty winds. So when you add the totals of the rainfall yesterday, what we're expecting today and on Friday, for some parts of England and Wales, we'll have the equivalent of what we would expect for the whole of February in just those 3 days. And if you're asking how long is this going to last, well, next week we still will have low pressure coming our way, but at the moment it doesn't look like it's going to be as potent, so it won't be as wet or as windy. I'm glad to say, and I truly hope that forecast holds true, Susanna and Billy.
Yeah, thanks very much indeed, Carol. Well, one person listening closely to the details of the weather forecast,